the Lake District. Today we are in Grasmere and we're doing 4 Wainwrights today. We're doing Helm Crag, Gibson Knott, Calf Crag and Steel Fell. And for once, if you just look around, it looks like we may not be clagged in for once. Probably the first walk since about August last year, where yeah, we've just not been enveloped in cloud. So quite an accessible walk, this one. You can just park up in Grasmere. We parked at the youth hostel on Eastdale Road, and then just walked along the valley here. So yeah, so if you're staying in Grasmere, it's probably quite a good one to do. Relatively low level. I think they're about 450 to 500 metres, these fells. So yeah, definitely accessible. And quite a clear route round. It's like a mini horseshoe, which you'll see when we get further up near the top. And I've also got a drone today, so going on its maiden voyage. Not sure how good the footage will be. You'll have probably seen it by this point if I decided to put it in, so you can judge for yourselves. And if it's not there, well, you can assume it was absolutely pants. So just going up these steps here, came out through the back of the Crag Hotel at the bottom. Quite a nice setting actually. Lovely beer garden, looking onto these range of fells across the valley floor. So yeah, just come up these steps through a nice little wood there, on our way up to the summit of Helm Crag. So we'll keep on plodding away and speak to you again when I get nearer to the top. Victim of the fell side here. It's like an old sheep. Not sure of the breed. I think it's a bit far gone for that. Don't think it was George. So we're about halfway up Helm Crag here. Paths continue to be quite decent. Got some good views over to the left here, which are just blocked at the minute by this series of rocks to my side. But we should, once we get a bit further up, be able to see across towards Eastdale Tarn in that direction. And once we get up Helm Crag, we should get quite a 360 panorama of views. So quite rewarding, really, for not much effort this fell. So there's a bit of a better view of Eastdale Tarn now, and then you can see all the way over to the old Manor Coniston. And then coming over a bit to the right here, there's Pavey Ark, Harrison Stickle there, just to the left, which we did a couple of videos ago. We did the Langdale Pikes, and it was yet another cloudy day. We can start to see the route we're going to take now. So we're carrying on along this ridge in the middle ground here, Gibson Knott, Calf Crag, and then we come back down the far ridge to Steel Fell, which is just out of the shot. But yeah, we're at the basically the top of Helm Crag now. So these rock formations on the top go by a couple of different names. Howitzer is what it said in the book we're using today, but they're also known as the Lion and the Lamb. And the old lady playing the organ, but can't make out any of those shapes. Maybe you've got to view them from a certain angle, but yeah, just look like a pile of rocks to me. But we'll get up on top of that now, see what else we can see. Should give us a good view to Steel Fell and across to Dunmail Raise as well. So just stood on top of the Howitzer, on top of Helm Crag, and it's a bit blowy. Just tried to get the drone out to do a bit of an orbital shot, but it was really fighting against the wind, so didn't want to risk it. I don't think I'll risk standing up here too much longer myself, to be honest, because it is pretty exposed. But yeah, some great views back down towards Grasmere. I think Rydal Water is just over there. You can see Windermere in the distance there. But I'll hop down before I fall down, and we'll continue the walk along the ridge. I'll speak to you again in a sec. So I think this actually might be the Howitzer, which makes a lot more sense because it does indeed look like a howitzer gun. But yeah, after climbing on top of the last rock there, I don't think I'll be climbing up this one. It looks a lot more precarious and exposed, so keep my feet on the ground. I won't get precious about not necessarily getting up the summit, which I assume is on top of the Howitzer there. just at the top of Gibson Knott. We had a bit of an inelegant descent from Helm Crag because we'd missed the path slightly, so I had to shuffle down some rocks on our backside. So yeah, bit of a drop, and then yeah, just went up to Gibson Knott where we just had some lunch behind us there. So if I've got any crisps in the beard, I do apologise, but I do love my Walker's Paprika Max Tesco meal deal, can't go wrong, not an ad. So just continuing around now to Calf Crag, which is just peeking out in front of me here, and then we'll double back on ourselves and head to Steel Fell, which is the final Wainwright of the day. As you can hear, the wind's really picking up now. We even had a few flakes of snow drop on us. I think the feels like temperatures are about -5, -6, so it is pretty biting. Put the down on, got the hat on, and yeah, we'll just see what the day has in store. But yeah, there's a Steel Fell there, and it looks to be clear enough, at least at the elevation we're walking. So should have pretty decent views all the way around. We'll keep going. You can see Tarn Crag just over to the side here, Easdale Tarn just behind it there, hence the name. But you can see, I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up actually, all those undulations are actually moraine deposits from when the glacier would have worked its way through the valley there down towards Grasmere. It's a gorgeous day now. Pockets of light everywhere. And we're just out of the wind a bit here, so I am tempted to try and get the drone up again, but I know as soon as it goes past the cover of rock we've got here, it'll probably just get swept away into the next valley, so I won't risk it. It's only light, it's about 249 grams, so yeah, won't risk it. Just keep walking, follow George, putting us to shame as he did in Langdale. He must do every fell about 3 or 4 times, coming back down, going back up, waiting for us lot. So we're just heading up Calf Crag, and it is Bog City here. Still a bit frozen over in places. Whoop. But yeah, it's pretty soaking. Good test of the new boots anyway. Seems to be holding up, as long as they don't slip below the ankle line of the boots. So once we get up this bit to the top of Calf Crag, we hook back on ourselves and then go along this ridge here, Steel Fell, and then down to the A road. And you can just see, peeking through the middle there, I think that's St Sunday Crag, which leads to Patterdale down the other side, which we did do once as part of the Greater Grasdale Horseshoe, which was one of the worst walks of my life. It was absolutely roasting. Did Berkhouse Moor along Striding Edge to Helvellyn, near the Most Pike, Dolly Wagon, and down by Grisdale Tarn, up Seat Sandal, down Seat Sandal, and then up St Sunday Crag onto Berks, and then Arneson Crag. So yeah, suffice to say, it was a pretty long day. I think we managed 2 pints in the pub that night, and we were both in bed in the youth hostel by about 8 o'clock. I think we must have drove home about 5 in the morning because we had a good night's kip. So not in a rush to do that one again, although we did do it before I started the YouTube channel, so might be forced to do them again just to capture them on film, but won't be anytime soon. Just at the top of Calf Crag now. Pretty good views all around. Hopefully you can see them in the background there. As I said at the start, it is a really accessible walk, this. You know, if you're you're not someone that normally walks, or you want to get into it or back into it, great parking at the bottom. Really clear route, assuming you know, you're not doing it in the clouds, and not too tough in terms of height or how steep it is. So yeah, definitely recommend it. So yeah, third Wainwright of the day, and then we're just going to continue along the ridge to the fourth one now, just powered by some biltong that Key made. Sublime, chef's kiss. Helm Crag, where we started, with the distinctive rock formations on the top, and then we just carried on along this ridge. Gibson Knott, Calf Crag, where we've just been, and then just came around the top there, and then we're nearly done, to be honest. Just plodding up Steel Fell. You can see down to Grasmere there, and we will end up on the A road. You can see Windermere beyond, and even Yorkshire in the distance. So thankfully the weather's held up for us. So much easier when you can actually see where you're going, not just the path directly in front of you, but when you're in a horseshoe like this. You know, we were on Helm Crag and we could see the end point. Just makes navigation so much easier, but always important to have backups. I know in the news lately there was a guy just last week, I think, rescued on Scar Fell, because he was just relying on Google Maps. So yeah, even if you're doing what seems like a fairly simple walk, important to have backups. I have the OS app. Download the routes onto there, so you're not dependent on the internet signal. Backup battery charger. Chris has the routes on his phone as well, and to be honest, we should bring the paper maps too. So yeah, you can never have too much stuff. I'll say it's always better to bring stuff and not need to use it than to need stuff and not have it, and that goes for clothing as well, waterproofs, spikes, torches, those kind of things. So yeah, safety first. But anyway, continue up here. Should be a short hop, skip and a jump before we're at the top. In fact, I can see some clouds coming in there over towards Helvellyn. Some rain has started to come down, so we'll get a move on. Follow George. So those clouds I just mentioned towards Helvellyn have blown overhead here with some sleety showers. Ooh, hot breath. So we're just handrailing it to the top of Steel Fell here, and then we'll begin the final descent. So we're just above the A road now that links the north and south of the lakes. I don't know if you can see it, but the circle of stones there is Dunmail Raise. Now the legend was that King Dunmail was the last king of Cumbria, so he amassed his forces here to go to battle with the Saxons in the valley. I think it was the combined forces, allegedly, of Edmund I. Possibly got that wrong, I might correct it on the screen, and Malcolm of Scotland. They went to battle here. King Dunmail fell, and his body is apparently buried under that pile of stones, which I'm not sure is entirely true, but it's romantic anyway. Another aspect of the story is that one of his troops took the crown from his head, so the Saxons couldn't claim it, ran up the top of Seat Sandal here and threw it into Grisdale Tarn on the other side. And apparently each year the ghosts of his army bring the crown up from the tarn, go back to his grave, place it on the grave, and try and summon him back. But apparently every year he says it's not quite his time, so yeah, they'll keep trying. Maybe we'll see him in the pub when we get there. Terra firma now. Yeah, weather's taken a bit of a change. It's started raining, although it is easing off now. Put the waterproofs on. It just shows you the difference a couple of hours can make. You can just see Helm Crag up there, bathed in the conditions we normally get when we do these walks. But we were lucky for the most part. Conditions held up quite well, and to be honest, you know, there's still pockets of sunshine around. You look towards Grasmere there, light's lovely there, and then out to the Fairfield Horseshoe, still pretty bright. So we're just making our way to the lovely A Road, which will guide us to the pub. So we're going to go to the Traveller's Rest. I think it's open. I know we found quite a few pubs have you know, they've remained closed after lockdown. I think, you know, staffing issues and cost of living crisis continuing to bite for a lot of places, which is a, you know, real shame really, because pubs are often the heart of more remote communities. Not that Grasmere is particularly remote, but yeah, always sad to see a pub close. So yeah, Traveller's Rest, going off for our patronage there, have a couple, and then we'll walk back into Grasmere, where we're staying for the night. As I said, we parked at the youth hostel, Butterlip Howe, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Stayed there a couple of times before. Great location for some walks, and there's a particularly good pub in the middle of Grasmere called Tweedy's, where, you know, if you like your cask and your craft beer, it's you know, it's a bit of a mecca for it in there. You're spoiled for choice. Just as we're walking back to the road here, I was just thinking to myself that often the lowland views that you're treated to are as rewarding as the ones you get on the fell tops. See things from a totally different perspective. And another thought that always strikes me is that what you're looking at is, you know, it's pretty much an unchanged view over the last couple of 100 years, ignoring the roaring A road just to my left there. But yeah, you can see the Traveller's Rest just there. So we're nearly at journey's end.